fan base, how do you think they feel about Vince going forward? This was the most beloved assistant we had. If I went and did a poll today, what would they say about him?
I think it's a punch to the stomach to the fan base. And now they're going to say exactly what we said. You like the guy, but you want him to go fail. And forever, I think my loyalty to Vince has changed forever. And I think a lot of fan base probably feel the same way. You left us to go to Louisville. I'm kind of done with you. I like you, but I'm kind of done with you.
So you think people who have, done?
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of people feel that way. People are going to be frustrated at Mark that it happened, and they're frustrated at Mark in general.
Sure.
But I think they're also going to be frustrated. This is going to be a weird situation. Like when Cal left, I thought both sides ended up being better off because of it.
Yes, I agree.
Shannon, I think with this, both sides are going to be worse off because of it.
Yeah.
Like Vince is going to be less happy there, whether he realizes it or not.
Yeah.
And this is bad for Mark, too.
And I know how fans are going to react. I just took an hour of calls before the
All right,
show.
well, let's go. Adam, go for it, Adam. 30 seconds. Put that shot clock on. Go for it.
Go.
Hey, Matt. This was like the Hogan is the third man, the John Cena turning heel.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no positive. He is jumping off a sinking ship. I don't blame Vince. This is all on Mark Stoops. We have heard nothing from him. We are going back to the Joker era, and there's nothing stopping it. So I hope John Summerall is on line one.
All right, let's go to Jerry. Go ahead, Jerry.
The first thing I would say is I don't blame Vince a bit. I expected something like this when I listened to Ross Dellinger on your podcast talking about that Kentucky was against equalizing the money and that a lot of money is going to basketball. Kentucky wasn't going to have the money that other SEC schools have. And I expected something like this, and this is the last thing that showed him out the door. He already had a foot out the door. This was it, and I hate Louisville. I'll give them credit. Ever since they hired Schnellenberger, they've made football a priority for Kentucky.
All right. I do have to say this. I appreciate the call. I think that's a very valid point about there may be worries about investment in football, et cetera. He went to Louisville. Okay, this I understand. I understand him leaving. I can't believe I'm the one saying this. You understand him going to Louisville?
Can't.
You can't go to Louisville.
Nope.
You can't. I'm sorry. I'm a little disappointed in you, Jerry. You're one of the biggest Louisville haters I know. I understand him leaving. I understand him leaving a sinking ship. Louisville? Let's not go soft on Louisville. When did it become okay to go to Louisville?
It is not. It is not okay.
These are different callers than we had an hour
Yeah,
ago.
who are you all? Jerry, you've called him for 10 years hating Louisville. I mean, how many people have gone to Louisville straight from Kentucky? Marvin Stone.
Yes.
Isaiah Cummings. And Zan Payne, and at least it was to follow his dad.
Follow his dad.
That's it.
Yeah.
I can't think of another one. You two were soft. Jerry, I am disappointed in you.
You bring up a good point. What if Vince had gone to Michigan State today?
Fine. I would have understood, and it would all be on Mark, in my opinion.
Yes, but the fact you went to Louisville, now it's on you.
He went to Louisville, it's still some on Mark, but he chose to go to Louisville.
Agreed.
Steve, go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, I'm really more upset about what this says about the state of the Kentucky football program now and going forward. I think it's bad.
I don't disagree with that. I appreciate the call. It is bad. It's bad in a lot of levels. It's bad that we got this year and we feel like a sinking ship. Mark Stoops should honestly be on the show today.
Yes,
here.
he should.
And if he's not going to be on the show today, he needs to be somewhere today. You can't just let this linger with no comments. I mean, I hope they don't think he can just say nothing over the course of this next week. I hope they don't think that's a good plan.
No, we need to hear from our leader. The fan base needs to hear from Coach
and
Stoops,
he needs
our
to
leader.
come on and be like,
we're going to be okay, man. I got great plans. We're going to be better than ever.
Don't
Fight.
The story straight now, then the media is just going to create their own narrative.
What did I say for years about Cal? The void is going to be filled with something. You want it to be filled with you.
Yes.
You don't want other people filling the void because the void is going to get filled. These stories are only going to continue.
Uh-huh.
Cliff, go ahead, Cliff.
I wanted to know if you think he was listening to Shannon when y'all were down in Somerset doing the poll and seeing how much money should go into basketball and football. But, like, realistically, do you think money talks?
It is Shannon's fault. Shannon,
I am a heel.
you did this.
You are a heel.
No, go ahead. Finish your point, sir.
So money talks. How much money is he getting to be the GM? Is it more than what he was getting at Kentucky? And that's it. I'm mad.
I don't know. I appreciate the call. I don't know if maybe he's getting more money. It can't be. I mean, I appreciate the call. They're not giving him. I mean, he's paying $1.3 million here.
Is he getting that?
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine they're giving him like $2 million. I mean, Louisville doesn't have the money to pay their players next year yet.
I think it's roughly the same.
Is it about the same?
From everything that I've heard and read, yeah.
Yeah. So this is just he chose that.
And it's a 3-year deal, so he's got a little job security for 3 years. Maybe he didn't have job security here.
He had the job here as long as he wanted to have it.
Okay.
I can tell you that.
Yeah.
He would have outlasted Mark.
Probably so.
If he wanted to be. I said this on my Twitter space. He could have had a job as an ambassador for the school when he didn't even want to be part of football.
Mm-hmm. You can think about that, but you're right.
He could have had a job here for life. And he chose not to. Which says either it was so bad he felt like he had to leave, or he just made a choice that I think was poor. At the same time, though, he went to Louisville. He didn't go to Michigan State. He went to Louisville. Let's not go soft. Luke, what's up, Luke?
Hey, Matt. I went to the South Carolina game last year, and I told myself, with this culture around the football program, it'd be hard for me to go back to another football game. One, how much do you think the rumors with Vince affected the culture last year? And two, I mean, if there's any game I want to go to, it's against Louisville this year to boo against him and those no good, dirty bugs.
Now that's better.
That's better.
That's better. I don't blame Vince for the culture. I don't. I don't. I blame Mark for the culture last year. You're the leader. Vince brought in a lot of dudes that were a little questionable over the years that they made work.
Yes.
Lynn Bowden,
Top of the list.
They made that stuff work.
Yep.
So I'm not going to all of a sudden say because last year it didn't work, it was on the same guy that's been there forever doing it. Mark's in charge. If the culture around KSR gets bad, it isn't Ryan's fault. It's Matt's fault, not Ryan's. Even if Ryan was the person who hired Mario and Billy when they become, it's my job to keep the culture good. It's on Mark. So I'm not blaming Vince for the culture of the program. That's on Mark. Mike, what's up, Mike?
Hey, Matt, how you doing?
Good.
Okay. I just real quick, and I'm not going to try to make this too long, but I was.
We got 30 seconds. You got to make it real quick.
Okay, I'm a season ticket holder starting in '83 with Jerry Claiborne came aboard. Well, '82 actually. I love football. I love Kentucky football. I live in Louisville,
15
so
seconds.
I gotta, Okay. Well, anyway, the only thing I'm saying is it always seems where.
Shannon pulled the trigger a little quick.
No, I didn't. No, it says 33, 34
Shannon,
seconds.
sir, I'm going to give you 10 seconds to make your point quickly.
Okay, Louisville can plug in the ACC and go from right in the top 3 team right away because they don't have no competition. We will never get that far.
That is a good point. And there is a part of this where you got a better chance to win big at Louisville than you do Kentucky. But but you're at Louisville. Let me ask you a question. How many head coaches are going to leave the SEC to go to the ACC?
Probably very, very few.
Very few. So I do think that's true. It's easier to win at Louisville now than it is Kentucky to win your conference.
And maybe get a chance to play at the playoffs.
But you know what? Coaches still are coming to the SEC. They're not leaving the SEC.
That's right.
All right, Jesse. Go ahead, Jesse. 30 seconds.
Matt, I just had one of the most cathartic moments of my life. I just saw Vince Marrow in Frankfurt leaving Dunkin Donuts I got to give him the L's down. I'm much better now.
Wait, is that true, Jesse? You went to the Dunkin Donuts and gave L's down to Vince Marrow?
He was pulling.
Oh,
of course.
Your phone's going
Phone
away.
connection.
Of course. All right. I appreciate the call.
I want to believe that. I want to believe his story.
I'd be interested. Yeah, I wonder if there's a way to know he's in Frankfurt. He likes Dunkin' Donuts, though. I could see it.
And Frankfurt's kind of in the middle.
I appreciate the call. I'm going to give that more credibility than what Mario saw on Facebook. Amy, what do you think?
Hey, Matt. So I agree that Mark is the leader of the team, but Vince holds a lot of power, too, so he still can be accountable for some of the culture. So that, I think he has to be blamed as well for that. Second, dude, you sold your soul. If, like you said, he has a job after Mark and he can stay and be with Kentucky, you went ahead and sold your soul a year too early. I'm done with you.
Okay. Yeah. Again, metaphorically, that's what I think. From a friendship-wise, he's still my friend, but I want him to go 0-12.
Yes, we
like
want you to
somebody
fail.
wrote me on this text machine here, and they said, Matt, I wish Vince the best. I hope for him to have success. He gave us a good time here. I hope for him to have success as a human being. I want him to be happy. I want him to have a great life. But I want him to lose every game, Shannon. Like, every game.
I had to, set Billy straight on the pre-show. He was like, no, I'm going to be, pulling for him. You can't pull for the guy.
Wait a minute. All right, Billy's fired.
You gone.
I said the same thing you said. Like, I like Vince as a person. Personally, love the guy. But professionally, no, I'm not going to be cheering for him professionally.
If Ryan became the host of Louisville Sports Radio,
LSR,
I want him to tank in the ratings.
Yes.
I wish for him success in life. If he hosts any other, well, actually, I don't want him to tank in the ratings. I want them to lose every game and people not want to listen because they stink. I still want Ryan personally to have success. But when you coach a sports team, the success is the success of the team. And I'm not cheering for Louisville. I was disappointed in Andy Bashir. Andy, what are you doing wearing a Louisville hat and a Louisville shirt? Okay? You're a Kentucky fan. I understand you're the governor. You can't go to the game and throw L's down.
But you don't have to wear Cardinal stuff.
But you don't have to wear Cardinal stuff.
Yeah.
Right? That's the thing. Don't be Hillary Clinton with a Yankees hat when you grew up a Cubs fan. Like, you can't do that. Am I wrong about that?
No. Dead on.
He can go to the game for Louisville. He can shake their hand.
Yes,
But
congratulate
don't be
him.
wearing a Louisville hat
Can't be
unless
wearing
you're a
it.
Louisville fan.
Yes.
Mitch McConnell, Louisville fan. I don't want to see him in a Kentucky game in a Kentucky hat.
Right.
You're your team. I can guarantee you this. If I was governor, you think I'm wearing a Louisville hat?
No.
No. Now, I'm not going to L's down Louisville, and I'll shake their hand, and I'll advocate for their university, and I'd try to get them in a conference that would help them because that's good for the state. But am I cheering for them? No.
Can't.
Same thing here.
I got another question I got to ask you. When Kentucky football was rolling, Vince at his peak, why would they take away some of that control and not, if they took away Ohio and handed over a lot of stuff to Eddie, why would they do that when they were at its peak when he was in
Nick
control?
Roush. I think Nick Roush said this. He compared it to Game of Thrones, and he's right about that. There are two different leadership styles, right? There's the we do what I say, I take advice, I make the decision. That was like the Obama, George W. Bush leaders. I'm going to listen to all y'all, but once the decision's made, it's made. Then there is the I'll listen to different people based on what mood I'm in, right? That's kind of the Biden and the Trump way of doing it. Now, there are virtues to each of them. There are negatives to each of them. But when you're the second one, you create a Game of Thrones situation where everyone's jostling to be close to the leader. And they're kind of stabbing each other to try to get to the leader.
Uh-huh.
In the first situation, you know who's in charge. There's no stabbing each other. They're in charge.
Yeah.
In the second situation, there's always like a no, me, and then there's like a lot of infighting. If you read about the Biden White House, if you read about the Trump White House, that's what happened. UK football has been that the last few years. It has. It's been a lot of jostling to who can be Mark's favorite. And I think that's been a part of the problem. I'll expand more on that in the next hour because I do think that's an issue. We'll be right back. Okay, I do recognize for those of you saying that I've went full Doofenshmirtz there in the second half of the first hour. You're right. My voice kind of did the wah. I get it. But I'm a little outraged by a couple things.
I'm justified.
All right, but we got Billy here. He's outraged at something Shannon said. We got callers. I'm still going to do the end of my analogy I use. But before all that, I have some breaking news. Wani-na-na! This is why I love live radio. This is why I think it's the best medium. Because you never know what's going to happen. All right, we had a caller in the last segment say he went by Dunkin Donuts and threw the L's down in Frankfurt to Vince Marrow.
Yes.
And we didn't know whether we believed him or not. Did you believe him, Shannon?
No.
Did you believe him, Ryan?
I did kind of believe him.
I kind of believed him. During the break, for the first time since yesterday, my phone rang, and it was Vince Marrow. And Vince Marrow called to tell me that the guy flipped him off at the Dunkin Donuts.
Not L's down.
That he didn't throw L's down.
He threw something up instead.
He flipped him off. And I said to him, I'm about to go back on the air. I'm not asking you about any of the rest of this right now.
You did. You said that.
But I did think that. And I said, do you care if I share that? And he said, yes. So not only is Vince listening, Shannon, he wants to correct. Not L's down, middle finger up.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a big difference in that. You can do L's down. That's fine.
But I want you to think about
Middle
this. For me.
finger
This
up,
is
come
why,
on.
Vince, because I know you're listening. This is why you screwed up. Right? You had a relationship with this fan base where literally you would call into the show, call in during a break and say, yeah, that guy's story, he actually flipped me off. It's not going to be like that at Louisville.
No.
There's nothing they have there that's like this. There's nothing. And, I don't know what to tell you. But, wow. So there you go. That's why live radio is the best right there.
My guess is that's not going to be the only time that Vince runs into a situation like that.
All right, so that's number one. Number two, Shannon, you said that Billy said he was going to cheer for Louisville when Kentucky didn't play. Billy, you would like to chime in.
Yeah, I didn't catch the whole first hour. I did catch Shannon warping my words again, though.
What did you say then, sir?
I wish
Billy?
Vince Marrow the best of luck. I did not say I was going to be rooting for the Cardinals.
You wish him the best of luck. You can't wish somebody the best of luck
To
professionally.
be fair, Shannon, the best of luck you could have would be to win,
That's
right?
right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You
Acting
can't...
like I'm putting a Cardinal hat on and rooting for the Cards.
I thought you were going to.
L1C4, Shannon. Give me a break.
You the L's up as you said that. I mean,
No,
my God,
listen.
I
This
love
guy gave
Vince
12
Marrow
years.
Personally, but
12 years,
professionally, I hope
Shannon.
he loses.
12 years at Kentucky.
Well, so do you hope he wins or loses?
I hope he has success, yes, but I'm not.
Okay, so Shannon was right.
I was right.
I do
Shannon
not.
was right.
I
You
wish him
came
the
in here
best
to
of
correct
luck.
Get him
Shannon.
out of the studio.
Professionally and personally, I do wish him the best of
So
luck.
Shannon was right. You came in here to correct him, and he was right.
I'm not rooting for the Cards.
I
and
think
Vince
that's
Marrow.
exactly what
I do hope he finds success in his
Louisville
professional career.
When Louisville plays teams that are not Kentucky, and Vince Marrow is on the sideline, are you rooting for him to
No,
win?
I wish him the best of
But
luck.
what does that mean?
No matter what stop along his career, I hope he finds success. Yes.
So at Louisville, to find success, he's going to have to win. Do you want him to win?
No, I don't want him
So
to
then
win.
how's he
I
going to
want
find
him
success if he's not winning?
It may be personally. Who
But you
knows
said
the relationships he
You
has?
said personally and professionally.
Yes, I hope he finds success. No, I do not root for the Cardinals to win specific
I don't
games.
understand. What success can he have if they don't win? Like, you mean just success in like...
Well, he could be a good recruiter. He could bring in some guys that make a difference.
And then they all lose.
Then they all lose. But no, listen.
Wow. I got a number to a tattoo shop. Just go get that big L tattoo in your back when you leave here.
Dude, you should have just let
You
me say
did.
what you should have just
You know
let me
what?
say
This
what I
is the
said.
equivalent of Vince's interview in December for you. You made it worse.
Yeah, you've been better off not coming
You'd
on.
have been better off not coming in. Turn his mic off. 859-280-2287.
Wow.
Wow. That was a heck of a start to a segment.
What I said was
It looks like, Shannon, I was about to give you a hard time. It looks like you were right.
Yeah.
It looks like you were correct.
Personally, I love Vince, but professionally, I can't root for him now.
Company car would be easier, I think. If that's all right, because that just,
20 seconds doing good.
Is he talking to us?
No.
Having a good conversation with somebody.
Gentlemen, I'm doing good. How are you?
15
Sorry
seconds.
about that. Work was going on. 15 seconds is all I need is this. Big fan of you, Vince, but not if you go to an inferior institution. L's down, little dog. L's down.
There we go.
That's good recovery.
Good recovery.
Yeah.
Good recovery. Larry from Paducah, 30 seconds.
Has Stoops ever explained how he lost that team last year?
He said that they had some culture issues, but he's not gone into any detail. Correct.
So the answer is no.
The answer is no.
Thanks.
Made good use of his 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'm telling you, these guys kind of using their 30 seconds
Yeah.
correctly.
Yeah.
859-280-2287. Bill, go for it.
All right, Vince, I'm glad you're listening because when you throw the L's up, I hope to God your hand cramps. I hope they don't have those little bags of Fritos in Louisville. All right. I hope that when you go do the karaoke of Simple Man and ACC, all six of their fans at the ACC tournament, all six of their fans are going to love it. Okay. But at the end of the day, you are not a big dog anymore. You are no more than a toy poodle. And I hope you stub your toe when you have your press conference. But I do love you, buddy. Until then, L's down.
You know what? The whole that's what
the fan base feels right
that's
now.
The fan base. Still love you, buddy.
Hope
Boy,
you stub your toe.
I can't articulate that better. Yeah, there's not going to be, Shannon, a moment where he sings that Louisville doesn't have an Alice Blue gown.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
The good thing is, as our bass player pointed out, we don't have to sing Simple Man anymore.
I mean,
we
the
only
U
did it
of
for
L
Vince.
sheriff,
Yeah.
you're going to have to do science projects with. He's the nerdiest person. We have Shannon the dude.
Exactly.
What are you and the sheriff going to do? Going, like, I mean, come on. This is what you signed up for, right?
He's a little dog now.
Dirty dog.
Maybe he'll show up in a Jack Harlow video. I guess that's the best he... That's the best he can hope for, is he could dance with Jack Harlow next to my car in my backyard. That's it.
Go hang out with Terry Miners and Tony Benetti.
I got to be careful. I like Terry and Tony and Nick and but JB, go 30 seconds.
Hey, Matt. Long time, first time.
Who are?
I think this probably about as low-life patrol move as a coach could do. As far as motivation, do you think maybe he sees some writing on the wall at the end of the season for Stoops, and it's easier to find a job when you got a job?
I think,
and maybe we can send Big Bird Billy to Louisville with him.
All of those things are true. There's no doubt there's got to be part of this. It's writing on the wall. You're probably right. It is probably easier to find a job when you've got a job, but he'd have gotten a job no matter what. I mean, I think if Mark had been let go at the end of the year, Vince would have had a host of opportunities, not just Louisville. He would have had a host of opportunities. He clearly wanted to do it right now, and that's the part I don't understand.
And the fact that, he just got married. He bought a new house here. His wife's kids are around here. There's the roots were digging in deep here, picking them up and moving not just anywhere, down the road to the rival. That's what's hard to accept.
He's probably going to make that drive on I-64. When he stopped at the Frankfurt Dunkin Donuts, that might have been the drive to go to Louisville.
I'm sure it was.
I didn't even think about that.
Meeting with people right now, probably.
You think so, Shannon?
Probably so, yeah. I mean, why else would he be there?
I mean, there are Dunkin Donuts in Lexington. You could have stopped. You just needed a donut and a coffee.
Is there a Dunkin' next to the interstate that you would pull right off?
Oh, sure.
Which one?
The one in Frankfurt.
Yeah,
that one in Frankfurt. Yeah.
It's right off the interstate.
Yes.
So you think he just pulled off?
Yep.
On the way to Louisville.
Yep.
Got a
coffee,
donut.
Got a donut.
Got flipped off.
Uh-huh.
Got back in his car.
Turned KSR back on to hear what we're saying about him.
Don't have that bird to go along with it.
He tells that famous story. The fan stopped him in a supermarket in Lexington when he was thinking about the Michigan job.
Yes, that was a big deal to him.
Big deal. The fan he says, changed his mind about that job a little bit.
Yeah.
Now the fan throwing their middle finger up in the air at him. What's he think about that?
Unbelievable. Jesse, 30 seconds.
Hey, Matt, thanks for taking my call. Glad to hear that Vince is listening because I think there's kind of two ways to look at the story here. And I just want to say thanks to Vince for everything he did for the program. The way that the program turned around was what led me to buying season tickets a few years ago. But I've also let those tickets go after this year, kind of for the same reason. I'm disappointed in what's happening where he was at. I'm disappointed where he's going, but I can't do anything about him going to Louisville. So just,
I understand that. Yeah, you definitely do have to say, like, he was awesome here. And, like, he's
doubt.
Maybe the best recruiter Kentucky football's ever had.
Yep.
You still went to Louisville. You know.
Like we said earlier in the
I mean, I loved John Cena. But when he turns on Cody Rhodes, Shannon, he still turns on Cody Rhodes.
That's right.
Right? Like, you still
a heel turn. You can't just ignore it.
You can't just act like it didn't happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You know, I think it was our first caller brought up the name John Sumrall. It's something I think we're going to hear a lot between.
I get all that, but like Mark Stoops is the coach this year, so I am. You're going to hear me say we got to hope it works.
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't do us any good to hope it doesn't work.
Correct.
What does that do? That's just cutting off your nose, spot your face.
We want it to work.
We want it to work. You know, so John Sumrall, like, is that a discussion to have? If things don't work, yeah, that's a discussion to have. But right now, like, if he ain't gonna be the coach tomorrow, we got to try to win with what we got right now.
That's very true.
Adam, go ahead, Adam. 30 seconds.
Hey, Matt, first time, long time.
Hoo-ah.
Hey, I just wanted to say, as a fan, I'm very appreciative of everything Vince did for the program. Personally, my son has aspirations of playing college football. Vince has taken the time to go talk to him several times. But that said, he went to Louisville. I hope we get the chance to run it down his throat, run over that sideline. I don't care if we get a penalty, throw the L down in his.
Did you have to drop that?
I had to drop that.
No, he did it on his own.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will say, if we win, again, I don't expect we will. If we go down there and win at Louisville, I'll be on the field looking for Vince.
Looking for him.
I will. I'll take the penalty. Might need to take some bodyguards. But I'll be throwing the L's down.
If they're able to win at Louisville this year.
Can you imagine? All right, so because this is going to be gloom and doom for a while. Can you imagine what the celebration would be like?
Big.
For everyone involved if they beat Louisville with Vince standing
on
over
the
there.
sideline over there. Because they're probably going to have a good season. We're probably not.
Now, what's the more likely scenario is then Louisville beats us and we have to watch Vince throwing L's up.
Oh.
I can tell you this. To whatever extent those first couple of calls were pro Vince, when that comes out, like what are we going to do in the press conference here in 2 days when he does this? That's happening.
It's definitely going to happen. They introduce him and he's throwing L's up.
I mean, he has to.
He's got to show he's all in. He's got to show to the Louisville fan base he's all in on Louisville.
He does. He has to. I mean, that's what he has to do. Unbelievable. Jesse, 30 seconds.
Matt, this is Jesse from Dunkin Donuts. I just want to say I drove past him and gave the dirty bird up in the air, and then he pulled up next to me, and then I gave him the L's down. As he was
so you gave him the dirty
west.
bird first. Interesting. You skipped that part when you told the story.
Yeah, I know. I did. I feel a little bad, but not too bad, really. See y'all. Go Cats.
Appreciate the call.
Well, now we know the full story.
Now we know that it did. Shannon, there's no question it happened.
Yep.
Got the dirty bird, then got the L's down.
From both sides that it did happen.
Confirmation from both sides. Both sides are reporting. I see, Mario, that's something you can believe. Not Alex Caruso.